Ah, the French. Ah, the French.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Twitch chat. Welcome back to Let Us Play. I'm your host, Father Evan. It's good to be back with y'all today. Good to see you, Brayherd. Good to see you, KMX. Good to see you, Bad Roxy. Good to see you, Gale. Good to see you, Kit. I think that's everyone. And Brayherd, congratulations. You've won the Crown of Furstendom, the Crown of Weird Counting. And Gale and Kit, thank you so much for the resubs. 39 months, my goodness. That is amazing. Thank you so much for all your support. And yes, 25 days and 39 months. Look at you mathing. That's pretty mathed up is what that is. So we're going to be starting Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm excited. I have a love-hate relationship with this game and this series, but we have to submit Kingdom Hearts housekeeping. We didn't get to watch the Union Cross movie. We will do that at some point on the Discord, I promise. So we have to explain something that like a really long time ago, like thousands of years, there was the Master of Masters. He was kind of the creator of the Keyblades, and he had 6 students. No housekeeping, but too bad it's housekeeping time. He had 6 students, and he gave them each a book of the prophecies of things that would happen. 5 of them were asked to lead houses. He's got a weird sense of humor. He really does. 5 of them were asked to sort of lead like houses or groups and educate people how to use the Keyblades. This wound up leading to the Keyblade Wars, and we'll come back to why in a moment. The 6th one, Lushu, he was tasked with guarding this black box. What's in the box? Great question. We don't know. Anyway, so he's been doing that for a while. But anyway, so the Keyblade Wars, so the 5 masters had these books of prophecy. But I forget if it's like one had a page missing or one's written differently. Anyway, one of them is different in some way. And it is inferred that therefore they are a traitor. You're in the box? No. I'm not letting you out. Absolutely nothing is in the box. So that leads to infighting amongst them, part of the Keyblade War, blah, blah, blah. So they are now considered the Lost Masters. They kind of destroyed themselves in the kerfuffle. The page is missing. Okay, thank you, Roxy. I knew it was something weird. So that's some background that you need to know, especially for the very first cutscene that happens. The second is that the title song for this game. So like, you had what's the name of the first one? The famous one is the Planet B remix of it. Anyway, you have that. Simple and Clean. Then you have Passion and Sanctuary for 2. I won't get. We'll get to that in a moment. And for 3, you have Face My Fears, which is a collab with Skrillex, which only felt about 10 years out of date when this came out. So, And I actually kind of like it. It's actually grown on me. But here's the thing. They are especially litigious about that song. It will get me DMCA'd. So we're going to watch the opening title screen in silence. I will not be recreating it. But that's what we'll be doing. But as Kit mentioned, we do have first our little reading from Vatican II, Gaudium et Spes. Nope, that's the wrong bookmark. I'm reading a little something on my own too. Silence. Nor of Days, Corn, Silent Hill. Yeah. Anyway, let's read this section on hope and anguish. At all times, the Church carries the responsibility of reading the signs of the time and interpreting them in the light of the gospel, if it is to carry out its task. In language intelligible to every generation, she should be able to answer the ever-recurring questions which people ask about the meaning of this present life and of the life to come, and how one is to related to the other. We must be aware of and understand the aspirations, the yearnings, and the often dramatic features of the world in which we live. Outline of some of the more important features of the modern world forms the subject of the following paragraphs. Ours is a new age of history with critical and swift upheavals spreading gradually to all corners of the earth. They are the products of humanity's intelligence and creative activity, but they recoil upon us, upon our judgments and desires, both individual and collective, upon our ways of thinking and acting in regard to people and things. We are entitled then to speak of a real societal and cultural transformation when repercussions are felt too on the religious level. A transformation of this kind brings with it its serious problems associated with the crisis of its growth. It increases the power. It is not accompanied by control of that power for the benefit of humanity. In probing the recesses of our own minds, humanity often seems more uncertain than ever of ourselves. In the gradual and precise unfolding of the laws of the social living, we are perplexed by the uncertainty about how to plot its course. So, church always needs to be intentional and reflective. Can't rest on our laurels, and we can't expect to say that what worked in one generation works in all generations. Other than the reality of the gospel, but you know what I mean. But the way we live and move and have our being needs to speak to the realities. You're preparing for the heretical episode? Well, you gotta say more than cringe. Good to see you, Matt Pack. Anyway, let's dive on into some Kingdom Hearts. A very different Dearly Beloved. Not silent? Well, it will be in a moment. You'll see. This first scene is fine. Bad Matt Pack. Mega Man Mania, wow. Look at this cool city. Wouldn't it be cool if you could explore it? That's too bad. Does anyone actually understand the story of these games? I do. I mean, it gets a little loose from Dream Drop onward because of the introduction of time travel, but yeah, you need $30 to do that, and even then you don't get to do it that much.
Have you heard of the ancient Keyblade War?
Huh? Of course I have.
Long ago, Keyblade wielders waged a war over the ownership of light.
Yeah, the Master's favorite story.
I wonder what they planned on doing with Kingdom Hearts after making it appear.
Who knows? I don't get why anyone would initiate a war.
Valid.
So, you know the Lost
But this isn't
Masters?
chess. This is a different
Who?
game, and in fact, they made a physical copy of this game, and in
They're
the
ones who
description
started
online,
the
they explicitly
Keyblade
said,
War.
there are no rules. There is no game.
Never heard of them. Where'd you hear about that?
Or they're the ones for whom the war started.
I'm not following you.
You can drop the facade.
Facade?
On that land shall darkness prevail and light expire. A prospective Keyblade master should know this.
If you say so.
The gazing eye sees the fate of the world. The future. It's already been written.
Really? I'm not so sure about that. Besides, who's to say I can't change it? And maybe light will prevail.
Pretty confident. But things aren't in your favor.
Perhaps, but unlike darkness, there is more to light than meets the eye. You might be surprised.
Oh, I hope so.
No, Kingdom Hearts is not an interpretation of this board game. This board game is an interpretation of Kingdom Hearts. Oh, look. Oops, the audio went out. Ah. Also, I had a cough over the weekend. How could this happen to you and you alone, Map Pack? I hacked it so that only you cannot hear the song. That means you need to sing. Let me face my fears. But if it's your fate, then step forward. Man, this is actually kind of surreal to watch without the audio. So now we get a nice summary of the series in video format. Look, it is the birth by sleep. Oh no, Xehanort has taken over Terra's body, and other stuff is happening. Oh, Ventus Vanitas. Alakwa is banished to the realm of darkness. Vanitas is like, peace out. I'm going to turn into a heart and hide in Sora for a while. Let's build a boat. But wait, what if danger struck and there was darkness? Oh no, Kairi. That I do like the effect, the visual effect of using the board there. What if Xehanort? What if there are 13 Xehanorts? Here's one of them, except not really. And look at his friends. One of them does not exist? Oh. They capture that scene really well. I wish we got to see that scene for real in gameplay and my computer didn't die in the middle of it. Anyway, Xemnas is a terrible person. Kairi, you forgot about Sora at that point. And then Sora got some new clothes. He went shopping. And what if we rescued all these people from darkness? Does that fit a metaphor? Take that, Xehanort 1 and Xehanort 2. Oh, here comes Xehanort 3. He's got an outfit change. Kairi's not a Xehanort. Oh my gosh, that kid was Xehanort all along? I am shocked. Shocked, I say. Well, not that shocked. Oh boy, it's boy and dog and dog and duck and dog. But yes, this is youngest Xehanort. Even, you notice his eyes are gray. He hasn't even turned evil yet himself. Donald's the only bot. No, Donald is the most powerful wizard in the entire series. Hey, Craig. And now the audio is fixed. But he doesn't even know how to heal. And he knows how to find ingredients. No, I'm pretty sure that Donald is more powerful than Yen Sid in this. There are 7 hearts to save. Sorry, I think that's Mickey. Huh? There are 7 hearts to save! Look how good this glass work looks, though. Oh, I think I need to recalibrate my control, because look, if I'm going forward, if I'm going cardinal directions, everything's fine. But if I go diagonally, he, like, slows down on the up left. Like, zoink, Scoop! There are 7 hearts to save! How relevant will the content from Union Cross mobile game be in the main series? Yes, it is, actually. I don't know how much, but it is, and I hate that. It annoys me that they did not re-render these scenes. So the graphics look all over the place here. Well, if Aquinas taught that there is an angel of fate, what it likely is a part of mystical theology. What do you desire? In terms of fate, it can go a couple of ways. Because there is the sense of what is the fate, the destiny that God desires for humanity, and that being salvation. If we're talking fate more in like a storytelling sense of I am fated to do something, not so much. Mystical theology, yeah, mystical theology is pretty cool. Show some Game Boy Advance chain of members cutscenes, you cowards. So we have Wisdom Sharp Mind that will grant mastery of Wondrous Power. Is that what you desire? Not necessarily. I want to check them all out. This is probably... Jesus was fated to die. Well, we're all fated to die. Vitality. But that is also the reality of the incarnation and therefore God. Balance, a body of mind and equal merit. No, we're gonna go with Smash. Seen Father in a kilt? If you had come to Goth or Reach, you would have seen me in a different kilt. But God deciding to save humanity through means of the incarnation has certain ramifications. Catering phone call? Who are you catering to? Power of the Guardian, kindness to aid friends. The power of the warrior, invincible courage. I do appreciate that no is the auto answer, so if you're just spamming X, you don't accidentally get stuck with something you don't want. Sora, you goofball. What kind of adventure do you seek? Choose your playstyle. This is so immersion breaking. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. Hey, Mel. Play without using the DLC? No. Well. See, the funny thing is they call 2 the easy adventure, but it's... You don't have to turn any of that on. And then the pro code makes it harder. So we're just going to go with the middle one. And we're not going to activate any of the codes. Fry sauce flavored milkshake. Is this who you are? Well, I don't know what it is. Normally you'd show me my answers again so I can review them, but apparently not. Are you telling me that a fry sauce flavored milkshake is a real thing? Utah, what have you done? Is this who you are? It's me, Sora. Yeah, 1 is no codes. 2 is access to the codes, but you don't have to turn them on. So I did 2, so we can at least look at them. Hey, Cynic. Hey, Squirrel. Good to see you. See? Easy codes. Which ones would you like? None of them. You're appropriating my wholesome if you say so joke. Please do. The less people ascribe to me bad puns, nothing really changes. It was my fatherly duty. Watery dark side. Sora, that's what? Sora. Been having these weird dreams lately, and they just won't stop. You were dismayed. Why do I even have Father Chuck Dean? You people are capable of doing it without me. It's the third game in the series. Hey, Beer Fox, it is. No, I'm good. I remember how to play a Kingdom Hearts game.
In order to defeat Xehanort, there are allies we must gather, acting now to rouse them from their slumber. We have discussed this before, Sora.
Mm.
Your Mark of Mastery exam was conducted in the hopes you would acquire the power to wake them. However, the darkness nearly took control of you, and your grasp of your new abilities leaves much to be desired.
Rude.
Furthermore, Xehanort nearly made you his vessel,
He did not.
and in the process stripped you of most of the power you had gained by then. I suspect you have already noticed this, correct?
You need to make 2 frittatas then, Roxy.
First, you must regain all the strength you have lost. Perhaps it is foolish to expect a complete recovery, but it is absolutely vital you perfect one power, the power of waking, which you failed to master during your exam. There's someone who lost his strength and found it again, a true hero to whom you ought to pay a visit. Perhaps he can point you in the right direction.
Got it.
I do think the way they handle Olympus in this game is awesome, but
us to take care of Sora.
I would have it
the whole
no
training
way.
thing could have
I
been
put Sora
handled
in your
by
hand.
Big Hero 6 World.
And don't forget, we'll keep an eye on you.
Oh, this is gonna be lots of fun.
It's not a vacation. Let's go. Count on us.
Gummy ship, gummy ship. I like the gummy ship segment in this game. Not as much as 2, but
How are we supposed to get there
I'm
now?
in a minority opinion that I like the gummy ship in general.
What you do?
Looks like all the old highways are closed. Didn't Master Yen Sid say that Sora should trust the guidance his heart gives?
Come on, Sora. Which way? Hey, would you get serious?
Give me a break. I'm trying. These things take time.
Well, since we've already been before, why don't you try picturing our friends like we're there?
Well,
Sorry, I got nothing. What did you expect?
Look, Nomura just really
May
likes
heart
Hercules.
Be your guiding key.
Huh?
Oh, big retcon.
What's that?
Master Yen Sid always said that. Right before we went off on any of our real important adventures.
He literally never said it.
Really? Ring a bell?
Maybe I just imagined it.
May my heart be my guiding key. I've got it!
Goofy is not a reliable narrator. Well, you wouldn't be either if you had a concussion.
All right! Olympus Coliseum, here we come!
Kingdom Hearts 2.9 because we already had 2.8.
At long last, the time had come. The planets were edging into perfect alignment. And the plan Hades devised 18 years ago was about to reach fruition.
Is this Kingdom Hearts 3?
The
Not
Fates
yet.
had predicted
It
this
will be.
very future, the day he would seize control of Olympus and rule over all the cosmos. Hades' previous attempts, using Terra, Cloud, and Auron to advance his plans for conquest, had failed. The
That's what you
hour
get
was
for
not
using
yet right.
emo pointy hair kids.
But now the planets were aligned, and nothing could possibly go wrong. A wave of darkness slanced down from their celestial rank. One by one, Hades freed the Titans from their prison. Some
Except
of
that
them
they were already
same
freed and we had fought them anyway.
monstrosities that Sora and his friends had already fought and bested before. With both the Titans and his longing for vengeance against Zeus reinvigorated, Hades began his attack on Olympus.
Also, this game forces in the 3 half pints thing for some reason. I do like the social media loading screens. I thought those were pretty cute.
No fanfare? Burp.
Nope. Looks like we missed the Colosseum.
Sora, you opened the gate.
I was a little off again. Sorry. We'll find him. But we need to go.
The narrator is Ford Cruller. Wow.
Up the mountain.
Yeah?
Yeah. Up is the usual direction.
Well, never hurts to have your head in the clouds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, we're leaving.
Ow.
Sort of seems snarkier than usual. Look, he's been frozen in time for a year in his life. He's lost his loved one. He failed Mark of Mastery because it had an absurd rule. I think he's earned a little. I like that there's an explanation as to why Sora has lost all his powers. But Donald and Goofy are just like, I don't know, we're along for the ride, so we just gave it all up. I do need to set... some magic commands. It's been a rough 3 weeks. It really has. When you look at everything that happens to Sora and the time frame that he experiences it, yeah, it's a tough time. Also, they fixed the free running mechanic from Dream Drop Distance.
Well, I think we might be going in circles.
But we went up.
Sora.
Did I make a turn at the wrong rock? Hey, Hercules! Where are you?
Going up in circles is generally known as spiraling. As long as you don't spiral out of control.
All right, I know I dotted my I's, crossed my T's, zeroed the hero. So what gives? Who could possibly be trying to give me a migraine by yodeling that Yutz's name?
Really? Hades?
It's just you. Oy vey.
It's just us? Even for you, that's cold.
Don't forget, I can always turn up the heat!
Wait, if Hades is here, then where's her?
What is
Great
everyone's
question.
infatuation with that stone? You know what, never mind. Never mind, I'm cool, I'm good. Because Wonder Boy will be out of my hair soon enough.
So you're up to no good again.
Of course he is.
You bet.
Oh, easy. What is this, Sparta? Kind of on a schedule. Don't have time to toss around the old fire and brimstone. The whole cosmos is basically waiting for me to, you know, conquer it.
Poor Hades.
He thinks he can actually pull it off this time.
Where are my titans? Show me your power!
I think he might actually be able to do it this time. The lava flowing there always looks so bad to me. It just looks like a light source being put on the mountainside.
Love the breeze. That's what I'm sailing.
Yeah, especially compared with how the rest of the game looks.
Sailing right to where I left. No biggie. Nice work, boys. So, back to the whole cosmic coup thing? Really? Are you kidding? Jeez Louise. Seriously, when it rains, it pours. Okay, who's the new pest?
Hey now, that ain't no way to say hello, especially to your old friends.
Ah, perfect. Now I gotta put up with you too. Funny, I don't remember you doing me any memorable favors. So, you can keep your Heartless this time. I'm going back to my original plan, alright? So, toodaloo. Exits that away. Hey, it was great seeing ya. Happy trails!
I've put up with you. It's great to see you.
We are not here for you. I have my own business to attend to.
I'm sure you do,
All
Maleficent.
I need to know is if there is a distinctive black box somewhere in this world.
Black box, huh? Black box, black box, black box. Wait. Don't tell me. You're after the one Zeus hit on Earth?
Possibly. If I were, where might it be?
No, no, no. That's Pandora's. That's not the one you were looking for. Did you find it? No. It's letting you know now. It's a whole lot of nothing in that side plot in this game.
Phew.
See? Found him.
Yeah, I guess this counts.
I guess.
Let me down!
Just a second.
Don't make the duck cast a Zeta flare.
You guys are here. Sora, Donald, Goofy. You literally dropped in. Gotta say, I'm
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
impressed.
Thanks!
Like the catch.
Yeah, thanks, Herc. But what's going on?
Hades. Hades is going on.
Take a guess. Starts with an H.
Ah,
Actually,
I
it
get the picture.
doesn't. There
actually,
is no H
we bumped
in
into the H-ster
Greek.
on the way here.
He said something about conquering the whole cosmos.
All of it, huh? Nice of him to show a little self-restraint. Well, whatever he's
Hey,
planning,
I will
I'll
say
send
whoever
him
wrote the
running
one-liners
back
for
across
Olympus,
the sticks.
they were firing on all cylinders that day.
That's our Herc.
Moogles. Yeah, of course there's Moogles.
Yeah.
So, Sora, is there a reason you guys are visiting? I'm guessing it's not just for the cheese and olives.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like somebody forgot.
I just took my time remembering.
Uh-huh.
Herc, I came here so I could ask you something.
Ask me?
Yeah. Do you remember the last time we were together? You were feeling down and out. How'd you get your strength back? When you jumped in and saved Meg?
That's tough. All I know is that she was in trouble. Suddenly, I wanted to save her with all my heart, but it's not like I could tell you how.
Oh, man.
What's wrong?
All my strength is gone from me, too. That's why I need you. Because I was hoping you might have a solution or something.
I'm sorry, Sora.
I mean, he kind of did give you a solution.
Let's talk later.
Right. Once we've dealt with these guys.
I know how Flamotion works. Even if it's nerfed, it's still pretty good. Nope. Wrong thing. I did not mean to cast fire into all the fireballs. I feel so weak fighting these things. It's like I'm level 2 or something.
Hercules! You're okay.
Meg!
Boy, that didn't look so fun.
No, not with the Heartless involved. We're just lucky our friend showed up.
Well, what do you know? Sora, Donald, Goofy. Guess I owe you a big thank you.
Meg,
Semnis,
we need to
thank you
stay
for the
someplace
follow.
safe. We'll search the city and make sure everyone manages to get clear of the fire.
Be careful, Wonder Boy.
I will. So, you guys in?
Of course we're in.
The piano note scared you. It's just a little follow note.
Break a
It's
leg,
just
though.
a random piano note. It has no significance.
Heroes.
Phil, you
It
should go
scares
with
me too
Meg.
sometimes.
You gotta keep her safe.
Keep her safe from all the cutscenes.
Help! Is anyone there?
Hey, I hear a voice.
From which way?
Over that way.
Don't open. Safe inside.
Help me!
Oh no! There's a little girl caught in the fire!
Let's go!
Wait! Running's too slow!
So,
Then
what's your solution?
what's the other choice?
Oh. Get on that!
Ah, a sensible solution.
Hope so.
Like this?
That's good. Now hold on tight!
Whoa! Herc! Maybe we should... I
Running
don't
is
think
slow.
this is
Time
a
for
good
yeet.
idea.
So I could believe Goofy hearing her, but how could they see? Whatever. I am asking entirely the wrong questions.
Thank you for saving me.
How?
Yeah,
How
no
do
problem. We better check and see if anyone else needs us.
Well, if it isn't Sora and the King's Pawns.
Huh? Maleficent! Pete! Are you the reason the Heartless are here?
For once,
Certainly
no.
not.
Say, Maleficent, I don't know about his sidekicks, but Kid Keyblader here looks way punier than the last time we saw him. I say we finish him off while we still can.
Waste no time with the boy. He's inconsequential. We have a far more pressing matter to attend to.
Oh, we got to find that black box.
Be silent, you fool! As for you three, we shall meet again, when I have time for such trifles.
Yeah, and you's better get your act together before then. Later, twerps.
Wait!
Sora?
It's fine. I can take it.
Gosh, it
With
sure
big
don't
kids being
sound
mean to
like
you.
it. Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
It's fine. I can take it.
You're gonna get stronger.
We know you. You can take it.
Don't say that!
Oh, I
Yeah, how
just
dare
said
you be
what he
encouraging
said.
Goofy? Wait.
He can take it.
Yeah!
Yeah, we did get... What do you mean you're not going to give me enough AP at the start because you've given me all these other things? Cutscene! Count. It's a fun game. Count the cutscenes. Just turn off attractions. Attractions are fun, though. Plus, you need them in a couple of the fights. Just for you, Gale, I'm gonna do every attraction.
Stream!
Chivos! Chivo, get.
Ouch!
Now what are we gonna do?
Oh.
Goofy, what is your shield made of?
Fellas, I just got a crazy idea.
The shield!
It's made of plutonium. Mickey metal. And it gets bigger for no reason. Plut, his shield's made. Yeah, plutonium. Gets bigger for the important reason of friendship. So when does Kratos show up? Little did you know, Sora is Kratos. This might be a good spot for ingredients. For those who don't know what I'm referencing, you will in approximately, I don't know, 2 hours.
There's others still trapped in the city.
Hey, Alchemist. If Sora is Kratos, does he call either Donald or Goofy boy? No, there's his dogs. You're tired of hearing that line. That's valid. It's boy and dog and dog and duck and dog. Yeah, I'm gonna have to recalibrate my controller during the commercial break, I think.
Ready? Here goes! Oh. Gosh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ow. No, this was a mistake. This was a big mistake. Everything's fine. Yes, awesome looking set pieces that we don't really
If
do
there's
anything
anybody else
amazing with
stuck out here, we better
until
find them
way
fast.
later in the game. If any plans to tackle all the super bosses? Probably not. I've done all the super bosses in one on camera except for Sephiroth, but I have beaten Sephiroth in my own time. I don't know. I'm not nearly a good enough player, I think, to do the super bosses.
Thanks, kid.
No, I was trying to get to the save menu.
Go get him!
There are only 4 super bosses that seriously haven't beaten. No Heart and Armor of the Master. Data Xehanort and Yuzora. I could see Data Xehanort being hard. And Yuzora. And the Armor of the Master. I don't know who No Heart is.
Someone help! Where did all these monsters come from?
How did you get up there?
Where are you?
Oh no!
Help is
No
on
Heart
the
is Master
way.
Xehanort in his armor. Ah, yeah, that would also be hard.
We'll put these hotheads out.
I didn't realize
Hang
that
on
his
up
armor showed up
there.
in.
Huh? Who are you three?
I thought
Where is
his armor
Hercules?
was revealed in this one. So I was just mistaken about that. His armor is interesting right up until you start thinking about, wait, how does he actually see out of it?
Stream!
Birthplace League Final Mix. Oh, they changed the design for this one? Oh, okay. Then I need to go look that up. I'm curious what it looks like. I figured that was a Final Mix exclusive thing, just given how the super secret bosses tend to work out. But that would mean it is available on the 2.5 collection.
Thank you. You're so kind. Keep training, and one day you'll be great heroes, just like Hercules.
Do you still have that junior hero
training?
certificate?
Is it that obvious?
Just for you.
Hey!
Nice.
I think we all have a ways to go, but we'll get there together.
Yeah, we will.
Go.
Look, it's a statue of Achilles. It always seems to roast Sora.
Tell me what
Well,
to do
he does
first.
like ingredients.
Well, at least we can get through now.
And you roast ingredients. Like, this game has its flaws. It has a lot of them. But dang, this level is so cool with its set pieces. That joke was awesome. You're welcome. No, Sora. I don't know how I didn't get burned there. Awful, not awesome. I know, I read. You're still welcome. Love the fact that if you slam enemies into walls in this game, they act appropriately. Yeah, there's a lot of polish that went into this game. It's a shame it didn't go into the writing or trimming of cutscenes.
You're my heroes.
Let's see. I don't block. Remember this to show it off, use the Luminous engine instead of Unreal 4. Yeah, that's why it was delayed so much. Kingdom Hearts story is hot garbage at times, but it's my hot garbage, not. There's a reason that the very first game I ever streamed was Kingdom Hearts, and that I have played every game on stream now, with the exception of Union Cross, but it's hard to play a mobile game on stream. Also, it's hard to play a game that you cannot play anymore. I love Kingdom Hearts, and I love its story, but 3 in particular could have used a bit... Like, overall, the story is fine, actually. It could have used a little bit of tightening, but the cutscenes, man, there's just so many of them. And some of them just did not need to exist.
Thank you.
Thank you, Goofy. Goofy's like, you need to get going, Sora. was trying to remember if there was a treasure chest back there. This will not be a 100% run. Yeah, the cutting of Final Fantasy really made no sense. And like, as long as this game is, I still feel like it could have had more actual content. Like, because if you cut out all the cutscenes, it's actually kind of a short game. That's why I say it could have had some more content. You're gonna get Goofy bumped-geared. Oh no, Donald beat us to it.
Oh! Oh! Herc!
Sora!
Huh? More Heartless!
You take them. We need
Why
to
did they
save
cut
these
the Final
people.
Fantasy stuff? Don't know. They may have given a reason. I
Can
just
you
never
hold the
paid
building?
attention, but
No problem.
Donald! Goofy! We gotta do this quick!
besides, they didn't cut the Final Fantasy stuff. Look, there's a spiky-haired protagonist right there.
Water! Yeah! Yeah! So long! Here we go! It's over!
Yeah, so you had a huge number of original characters in Nomura felt cast in the Final Fantasy A more to support it. That's not the point! Like, that may have been the original point, but that's not the point anymore. Especially not with the established lore of Hollow Bastion and all that. Like, come on.
Yeah, you got him!
I don't really count super bosses as part of the length to beat. And I wonder what the, how many people played the game, including versus how many played with Remind, and how many beat or even attempted the super bosses on a regular basis, percentage-wise.
Go get him! Oh! Yeah, doing great, Sora! Yeah! There!
Hurry, Sora!
I'm trying! Wish I had aerial recovery. There we go. Sounds pretty more a purely mercenary team up. Yeah.
Get the people out!
Okay. Are you guys all right? You need to get to safety.
Hurry!
Go, quickly.
Guys, it's going to take more than a building to take him down. You know that. See?
Oh, you scared us.
It's nothing. That's what these are for.
Thank you for the lurk, Lane.
Huh?
Oh, wow. Very nice. Full marks.
Go away!
No organization!
You're Zigbar.
All this altruism is giving me the warm and fuzzies. So then, does having a Heart of Light come with an extremely good insurance policy?
Actually,
Just
yes,
say
it
what
does.
you mean.
Oh, but I did, though. No good will ever come from putting other people first.
I was able to save Meg's life because I was ready to risk my own.
Because you've got friends in high places, you mean?
No?
Tricks like that don't fly for your average Joe.
Well, yeah, okay.
What do you know? You weren't even there. If you were, you'd admire Herc's courage.
I don't admire one guy leaping into danger if it means someone else might have to jump in to save him. You're all just lining up to lose out. Dooming others to take the fall with you. Oh. And you can spare me the usual party line. Yes, hearts are powerful when they're connected. But if you put too much of that power in one place, some of those hearts might end up breaking. Still, Sora, that doesn't mean you should change. Accept the power you're given. Find the hearts joined to yours.
Why would I ever take advice from you?
As if. You don't have any choice but to follow this sweet little trail of breadcrumbs. And at the end, you'll finally realize what destiny has in store for you. In fact, your reward might be right around the corner. You're so close.
Obtuse as usual, Zigbar.
Hearts breaking? Whose hearts?
Sora, don't let him bother you. He's just trying to get under your skin because he thinks he can. But we'll prove him wrong.
No, I think
We'll
he's
show
actually
him
trying
that our
to set something up
sacrifices
anyway.
Haven't been for nothing.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Besides, we're already proof enough.
We're a team! When we're together, we can do anything!
Yeah.
Nomura is very self-aware. If that were true, I feel like we'd have more Kingdom Hearts games.
What reward? Yeah!
I thought we'd have Hercules do the honor of destroying his town, but we can do it too. Nomura's a perfectionist. Yeah. Yeah, attractions. Let's go. Pirate ship. Pirate ship. Pirate ship. I love the attractions. They're so unnecessary. Drop a board on him. I'm sure those are perfectly normal noises that we shouldn't be worried about. A Dare Hope. Remove Final Fantasy. Add Disneyland. Yeah, but there is no swinging ship at Disneyland.
Nice job,
Or Disney
Wonder
World.
Boy. We checked the whole area. It looks like everyone's safe.
That's great. We did what we could.
You heroes have been busy little bees. Oh,
I have the benefit of not internet delay.
more trouble.
It's Hades.
Well, I guess we gotta go way down to Hades Town.
Herc, let's go.
Right.
And a rota. So I had this morning's mass, so I may not remember exactly what I said because that was at 7:30, and then I took a nap afterwards because I was tired. But I like how the gospel responds to the psalm so well today, and that happens a lot more in Lent. But like especially today, it was something like, "Lord, forget not your mercy," or something like that. And the gospel is Jesus telling us about God's mercy and how it's like a merchant who gives us flour packed down, overflowing. You know, basically like over the top and unnecessary, and abundant. Is the villain still voiced by James Wood? Which villain? Because the main villain of this one is Xehanort. And I forget who voices him in this one. It had been Leonard Nimoy. He means Hades. Ah, okay. I think so. It sounds it.
We need to get to the top of the mountain and stop Hades.
He's got
That's odd.
the Hades
The
voice
river's
down.
never this full.
Yeah, rest in peace, Leonard Nimoy. Pirate ship, pirate ship. You fools trying to attack my luminous pirate ship.
Guess now we know why the river's
I don't know if this is necessarily a reason this is why they're the parade for us.
My shield's ready.
Are you saying there needs to be a festival of fantasy? Disney on Ice. Who are you auto-targeting, Sora? I mean, to be fair, in this one, we do get Frozen. And they do just, in fact, do the whole song from Frozen, so... Xehanort's VAs have changed twice, both times because they passed away. Wait, who's the second one that passed away? Because I thought Leonard Nimoy did it in Dream Drop, and that was his last time, and then in this one he had to change over. Am I mistaken on that?
So long. Here goes.
You won't stop a true hero!
Take this!
Oh, that's a much more calm river. You know, he complains about the height of the flood, but it really does look like the banks of the river could have handled it. Rutger Hauer voiced him in the base game, but passed away before Remind. Oh! Wow, I didn't know that. Roll is cursed. It's now voiced by Christopher Lloyd. Wait, like... Isn't Christopher Lloyd Back to the Future? Is that... Who? What else has Christopher Lloyd done? That is him. Okay, wow. Doc Brown is Xehanort. I'm learning today. You are now... Angels in the Outfield I have seen. Nice. Anastasia I have seen, but not in quite some time. But movie with Randy Savage, Cyber Chase...
Yeah.
I love Kingdom Hearts games because in combat I can usually just smash the X button and read chat. Oh, you meant Hulk Hogan. Oh, okay. No, those are basically the same person. Have you ever seen the two of them in the same room at the same time? Actually, probably, yeah. Odd-numbered Star Trek. That's probably why I don't remember it. Yeah, teacups. Teacups, teacups, teacups. In Hoichi voice, Spotty. Don't make me get my teapot. Okay, so I went to this place that was styled itself as a Victorian restaurant. It was pretty good. And they actually had a very nice tea service. So I went there with one of my brothers, and the table next to us had a Mrs. Potts teapot, and it was like, huh. Wait a minute, we've been here before. This is where we first met Hades. I was too old for Cyber Chase. Did not exist when I was a kid. It's like, I know that this section breaks away, but I forget how. That's how. It's Gilbert Gottfried. I don't know if that's a reason to or not watch something. Give me teacups. Teacups in a confined space. The answer is yes. How does that feel like compromise?
Here we go.
Use compromise on the baby now. Well, I'm sure he understands the concept. I have to go all the way back around. Well, I'm headed that way now. It's okay, I think I missed something in this area anyway. I did. Hello, giant random statue of Zeus in the middle of nowhere. You've successfully reset up your chroma key. Hey, let's go. That's cool. So, Melstream 1. Family leader of missionaries who grew up on the mission fields of Cambodia. Oh, that's interesting. I got Cyber Chase during one of those 6 years. You streamed yesterday? Oh. I spent an hour when I was not able to watch.
This sure does feel awfully familiar.
Yeah, just like before.
Guys, this is getting worse by the minute. I hope I'm wrong, but my family may need me.
Why can't you go up and then send Pegasus to... whatever.
Sora, I'm gonna fly ahead. You've been a big help, but leave the rest to me.
Family?
Yeah. Dad's king of the gods.
You've known him all this time and you never thought to ask?
His father is a god, but doesn't that mean Herc is a god too?
It was around lunchtime, huh? Okay.
No wonder he's so strong.
Then he'll be okay.
Your dad left AMA? Oh,
No.
I'm sorry.
Organization 13's here. He'll need our help.
Good point. We gotta go.
Hey, you take care, Alchemist. You have a great day. Good to see you.
Huh. That's tough. All I know is that she was in trouble. Suddenly, I wanted to save her with all my heart.
We fight with all our heart. Come on!
Cutscene. We walked 5 feet. We got to cutscene. I'm gonna take FMLA. Take care of him. Well, that's good that you can do that. Continued prayers for him and for you. Yeah, running up falling boulders. Can only do that in a cutscene. Yeah, but Mel's green lights. I love that shadows, little detail, I love that shadows can become actual shadows in the ground rather than just a black splodge. Curious how you'll react to that age. Let's keep it a curiosity for as long as possible. You got really mad at you because you nerfed the nurses. Well, sorry, bud, but it's probably the right thing to do. Not a very well liked daughter. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But it's not always about being liked when it comes to healthcare and family. I really should have equipped some potions or something, but oh well. Oh no, I forgot this game doesn't auto add them to your inventory like it is in the other ones. We shall defeat it with the power of a choo-choo train. And fireworks. Now we're playing Final Fantasy VIII. Is there a train section in Final Fantasy VIII? I've never played it. Yeah, brain. I know how to do the thing. Multiple train sections. The Doom train. I need to look this up. Got a lot of help change your thought processes, change your framework, Christ-like behavior. Yeah, and your responsibility as a daughter. That's a really good way to look at it.
One down.
They're not so tough
Feed him if
by
he's hungry.
themselves.
But doesn't get to pick the meal. Yeah. It's good. That is a good way to look at it, Mel. Oh yeah, I have, this is the Steam exclusive Keyblade. I'd like Air Combo Plus, but yeah, I don't need those. He says dangerously, forgetting what he might need them for. But I think that is where we're going to take our commercial break. It's a good endpoint, having just defeated the first Titan. We're in that as well, a little prickly. I'm trying not to be. Good. Yeah, and sometimes accepting care can be even harder than giving care. Oh, I just got out of jail. Well, I'm sorry, but you'll probably go back to that jail. Anyway, take this as a chance to get up, stretch your legs, get a drink of water, do what you need to do. We'll be back in about 3-ish minutes. I need to reconfigure this controller, so hopefully that works. But anyway, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Ah, the French.
Aw, man, I just barely missed Maha the French. Thank you so much, GameX, for the gift sub to Bad Roxy. Also, shout out to Fisherman's Friend. This isn't a sponsorship or anything. I really like these. Also, I had a really bad cough over the weekend. Just a cough. Nothing else, just a cough. It was like an allergic reaction, I guess. But these are really nice for sore throat and cough suppressant. Tastes like eucalyptus. Your wife has informed you. Apparently her new job has a keg on tap. What is this, Britain? It sounds like a good life. Nope. I recalibrated the controller, and this spot is still just kind of like a... Up left is just a weird dead zone. That's weird. I'm going to guess, Roxy, based on what I know about you, that dirtbag is not an insult in this case. You want a keg for IT work? That could be dangerous. Yeah, no, we were just in the dirt. Yeah. It's just if you read that sentence out of context. What about Sneeze Bucket? No, probably not. Hey, Quacksplat. Wow, look at them pearly gates. They won't allow beer in the server room. What about a beer-cooled server? Hey, Reckenheimer.
Is this Olympus?
Gosh, it's amazing.
Oh, whoa! Nope.
What about a server bringing you beer? Well, I suppose at a I guess if you worked at a restaurant that served beer, you'd have beer on tap. Oh, why are there so many of them? Excuse me, sirs? Sirs, you're making a mess? Shot lock. We're gonna just cram in a ton of abilities, except for command deck. We're gonna take the best combat edition in all of Kingdom Hearts and say, nah, we don't need that one. AI slop logger. Do-do-do-do-do. You know, it's kind of implied that in the first and second game that the Olympus Coliseum is in the clouds and therefore on Mount Olympus. So why is Sora all surprised when he sees all of this? Hope I was not paying attention. I thought I had a little more time. Calm down, Shai Halud. We'll get back to you in a moment, I promise. Quite literally, we'll get back to you. That's why he forgets about the clouds when he loses power. Plus, the Maker enters water. Speaking of water, here's a water-based father joke for you, Gale. Gotta set up my soundboard here to the sound effects page. I've been looking at this one for a while. Do you remember when the boat got stuck in the Suez Canal? I think it's too late to make jokes about that. Yeah, I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
That was good. No, don't encourage me. Non-sailing ships set sail. It's still a term that's used. Your first instinct was to boo, but I realized I did smile. Ooh. That was a smirk at best. I'll take it. Given the usual quality of a father joke. Also, I think the X button is sticking. I may have to take this controller apart and do some cleaning or something. Surprise! Get goofy. Now, how do we get to Hephaestus's Forge? I know that's around here somewhere. Sorry, Zeus. I smashed your pottery. It's a pirate ship. What do you think would be Sora's favorite ride at Disneyland? I think it'd be Space Mountain. You've been to Disneyland all of once. Yeah, I don't take you as the kind of person who likes the parks of the mouse. You're not me. Mance doesn't like crowds. Yeah. Those are not the places for you then. You'll both have a bad time. Yeah. Wow, what could that be? It's in the shape of Mickey's head. There's 3 pancakes, right? What was I thinking?
What do you think that meant here?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I'm not
Stuff you make
Hephaestus.
with a forge, I suppose.
Also, Hidden Mickey again. They call them lucky emblems. Yes, the solution was Teacup Ride. I was about to say, that should not work. Why is it lighting up?
Hey, Sora, maybe the trick is to line up those tubs above us.
No! And no, with no smithing or cooling, we have a pretty good shield for Goofy. It's like his current shield, but with fire resistance. Okay, now we can continue with the plot.
Here's our ticket up.
So this is the prequel to Kingdom Hearts 179. You know, it was a bold move of them, but yeah, I thought it was the right one to make a prequel to 179 finally.
We'll have to climb up, but what'll we use for footholds?
How you doing, Infinite? I'm doing pretty good. No, sorry. Hey, well, we'll climb on top of the box, then find whatever. Excuse me. Excuse me? Why can I not? There, I'm supposed to be able to grab onto the thing there? Hello? Game? I should have followed from above. Hashtag backseat gaming. No, you should just like right there. I could just do it. I don't know. The game's weird. Watching how many silly mini games you've interacted with and knowing how many more you have to discover makes me feel less annoyed with the amount of stuff of Final 7 Rebirth. That's fair. Oh, what's going on in here? It's perfectly cromulent stuff, I'm sure.
I swear to you, Hades, when I get out of there...
No, I'm the one giving orders now, Bolt Boy.
Don't get too comfortable, Hades!
Huh? Huh?
We're gonna stop you.
What?
I have some idea. I've watched others play it. Plus, it's a modern Square game.
Get them!
Sora! Donald! Goofy! Yeah! It's on! Yeah!
Ah, the objective is clash with the Titans. I get it. It's around and it goes down. Ow! Ow, excuse me. No.
It's over.
Sora, over here! Here goes! Stop a true hero!
Take this! See ya!
I don't know where I am. There I am. All three in a package for $70. Ah, so in like 10 years? Because like when they re-released the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and 3 HD collections on Steam, well, not re-released, when they released it on Steam for the first time, as the Interregnum Collection, which has an interesting connotation, given what Interregnum means. But anyway, that was like $60. That was on like a heavy discount because they knew they were the first. They were the PC ports of something that had already existed on a previous console. Oh man, this is so much easier to fight the Ice Titan than Kingdom Hearts 1. Magic Carousel! Rhythm game, rhythm game, rhythm game. Look how happy Sora is on the carousel.
Just one Titan left.
$20 for the whole Interregnum for Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, and 3 with Remind? You still don't have Remind? You're not missing a lot. Oh, it could have been a Best Buy exclusive thing. Retail stores did used to get those. I'm a-coming for you, Tornado. I'm a-coming for you. Yeah, now we're gliding for no good reason. Excuse me, sir, you are the Wind Titan, not the Lava Titan? Knock that off, you look silly. But yes, Interregnum, it refers to a period between the rulership of two monarchs. So clearly it's not referring to the Interregnum of the mouse. It is referring probably to the Interregnum of the Master of Masters.
It's over.
Pew 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 pew. Where'd you go? Oh, dang it. I'm gonna use my high potion just in case. I don't want to get this far into this boss fight just to... Is that what this game is about? Sure. Look, without the flowchart, it's hard to really describe the Kingdom Hearts plot. If I could just be like, here, this is the board. But this is a real set. This is not a green screen, so I can't do that.
Uh-oh! Now it's all 4 of them! So what? There are 4 of us, too.
1, 2...
Actually, I think I can make it 5.
Well, you 3 are half pints, so, you know.
No! Thank you, my
Hey,
boy.
take care, K-Max.
Yeah!
Now, watch your old man work.
Well, Zeus surely ain't infinite. Yeah, I think we'll have time to get to Kingdom Hearts 3 today. Because remember, this is still technically Kingdom Hearts 2.9.
We did it! I can't believe it! I put 18 years into that plan and you ruined it!
Blippin'?
I really don't like you.
Just give it up already. You'll never beat Herc, no matter how many times you try.
Yeah, stay in the underworld where you belong.
You have the time of your afterlife.
But he's not dead. He just lives in the
already!
underworld.
I did not come this far to be ridiculed by Zeusy High and Mighty, his little sunspot, and a trio of clowns. You know what? I'll just go ahead.
That was bad, Infinite. I love it.
You.
Hades! The exit is that way.
Oy vey. Jeez whiz.
Hold on. I almost forgot. That one's for trying to wreck Thebes.
I don't know. He did a pretty good job.
Pay for this. I have a very, very long memory. I can still dunk your little nutmeg in a river of death.
Yeah, I mean, here he is saying, oh, I spent 18 years. Aren't you supposed to be semi-immortal? Like, 18 years surely isn't that long of a time to you, Hades.
Are you sure you want to leave all this behind?
Isn't Olympus your home?
And your family.
I can see my family anytime I want. If I stayed, I'd have to be apart from the person I love most. And that life would be empty.
Yes, Spear Fox, we are playing Kingdom Hearts 578 over 199.
I finally know where I belong.
Hercules.
Wav. Twoo wav.
Sora, we never got back to your question. Can I help?
It's okay. I think I'm meant to figure it out for myself. I'll find my strength the way you found yours. Something to fight for. With all my heart.
If only you had something or someone in your
I guess
life.
you did have the answer.
Well, you've got heart,
You take
Sora.
care, Spear Fox.
Just keep at it, and I know you'll be stronger than ever.
Yeah, I might even end up stronger than you are.
There he goes again.
The yuck. Try equipping your new Keyblade. Don't make me.
Are you sure this box with the Book of Prophecies is for reals? I think that Dig-Batted Black was pulling your leg.
Be quiet and dig, you imbecile. I must find that Book of Prophecies and make it my own. His was the only clue we have. We cannot afford to dismiss it without a thorough investigation.
I'm just saying a shot in the dark ain't gonna get us any closer to... Whoa!
What is it? Have you found something? Show it to me at once, fool!
Yes, sir, easy. This has gotta be that Pandora's box Hades mentioned.
Hades never said anything about
Leave it.
Pandora.
What? After all that digging?
That is not the box which I desire. We are finished with this world. Come.
No.
Ancient artifact of untold power? Yeah.
May your heart...
Don't want it, don't need it. No, but now we're back in the Dark World. Why did they call it Dark World and not World of Darkness like they did in every other game?
What's wrong, Riku? Are you tired? Do you need a break? We can stop.
I brought...
No,
Huh?
just...
I brought snacks!
I've been here. I should know this place. But that all seems like another life.
Well, gee, think of all you've seen. All the feelings you've felt. Why, you've done years of growing in almost no time at all.
I remember my first time here. I was so scared. But now my doubts and fears are gone. If anything, I feel exhilarated. And it's not because there's darkness in me. I know too well what that rush is like. This is different. And it's not adrenaline either. I know Aqua needs us, but I'm ready. I'm in control now. Maybe it's because you're with me this time.
It's not me. I think it's because you finally found inside you that special strength to protect what matters.
What?
Sometimes you care so much for somebody that other feelings disappear. And then there's no room for fear or doubt.
Is that it?
Don't think it quite works that way, but...
Strength to protect what matters. It reminds me of a promise I made.
To who?
Just someone I once met. Can't tell.
Can't tell us and
Sounds
you
like a
don't
good
remember, or
memory.
can't tell us and it's a secret?
Yeah. While we're reminiscing, Mickey, does any of this look familiar?
Sort of. But the realm of darkness has changed since I was here with Aqua.
Yeah, it's different from what I remember.
Wow, it's almost like the
Usually,
world of
I'd
uncreation
just
isn't
follow my
stable.
heart, and Aqua would show me the way. But the closer I get, the hazier our connection feels.
So wouldn't that help you
Maybe.
with the inverse?
But we can't give up hope.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, oh, it's more hazy here and less hazy and less hazy, it's like, well, then go... Secrets don't make friends. Hey, it's that beach. That for whatever reason, is a liminal space between the dark and the light.
Beach.
It's gone.
Huh?
I'm positive Aqua was here. But now, her trail's gone dim.
I've been here too. With Sora.
Really?
This is where we found our way back to the Realm of Light. Hey, maybe Aqua did too.
Aqua has fallen into an even darker abyss. Somewhere I can't see her.
And you have eyes everywhere.
And I
We've
don't
already seen your
think
symbol.
we're equipped to dive any deeper than we already are.
So then...
Why don't you get the black cloaks? Those are literally designed to protect you from darkness.
Riku, be careful. Even the least threatening Heartless are stronger in this realm.
Siegfried makes great adventures. Demon Tower. I hope you like Riku using Way to Dawn, because this is the only time in the entire game he does.
Take this! You're done! Sorry. Heal! Take this! You're done! Take this! You got this! Take this!
It's not over. Be careful.
Oh no!
Ow.
Riku!
What? Because somebody needs me. Who are you?
Someone with a very familiar voice.
Riku? Wake up. Riku! Are you okay?
Where'd the Heartless go?
I got more than half of them, and the rest vanished. But they spit you out first.
Ugh, thanks. I owe you.
I know you feel invincible, but we're not.
Are you all right,
What?
Mickey?
Yeah, thanks to the new gear. But
the new
your
gear's not good enough.
Keyblade...
Oh.
Well, that's awkward.
The Heartless here are stronger than what we expected. I guess we probably should have powered up our Keyblades before we came in here, huh?
What do you
I
mean
think we need to
powered
go
them
back
up?
to Master Yensid's tower so we can regroup.
But Aqua's still down here alone, facing enemies like that.
I know.
What if she's feeling as scared and alone as I felt the first time I came here? How long are we supposed to keep her waiting in this awful place?
Probably about another 17 hours of gameplay.
But Aqua, she's like Sora. What? No. Strong like Sora.
Oh. Okay.
Wait to give Riku a heart attack.
Good. Then I guess she's gonna be all right. Sora could fall into any darkness and swim his way out.
Besides, we won't be long.
Right.
Yeah, but time flows differently in the realm of darkness.
Huh?
Can't use this Keyblade anymore. Might as well leave it here. For the other me.
What?
Sorry, I don't mud. Roxy is saying no words. So many cutscenes.
You could not regain your strength.
No biggie. I still learned a lot.
That's not why you went
Sora,
there.
You will need the power of waking.
Oh.
It can't be gone forever.
Well, other Riku could
Maybe
use it as a
something will
sword.
trigger it real soon.
Like what exactly?
How about a bite on the head?
Hey!
Perhaps it could be something that is as simple as that.
Wait, you think so too?
Whenever you
So
are
it's
in
a possibility.
need, magic happens. That is your greatest strength, Sora.
He's lucky?
You make it sound like an accident.
Whoa!
Yeah, but other Riku can use a Keyblade, which is better than a sword. But he can't use it as a Keyblade.
Master?
Whoa!
Oh!
Wow, you guys are all here.
We were here before, but you didn't wait. Oh.
Your Majesty!
Hey there, fellas. So, what have you three been up to?
We were visiting. Oh!
We went to Olympus to visit Hercules.
And to figure out how to get all of Sora's lost powers back.
But it was a big disappointment.
Wow.
Oh.
So rude.
What a shame. But, honestly,
We didn't fare any better.
Did you manage to figure out where Aqua is? Cause Master Yen Sid said that's why you fellas left.
Even a hint?
Come on! Can I finally say something?
We know Master Aqua made it as far as the
Apparently
beach
not,
that
Sora.
Sora and I once visited. But that's where her trail ends.
Meaning?
all traces of her vanish into the great abyss, beneath the realm of darkness.
She's gone?
No. Sora was dragged into the abyss during his exam, and I went in after him. So I think if we find someone who is really close to Aqua, and they make the dive, they could reach her down there.
I'm not sure who's even left to ask. Ventus is hidden, and Aqua's the only one who knows where. Plus, nobody's seen Terra in ages. Aqua was the last.
Got some bad news on that one.
She's gonna be the key to finding all three.
Yes.
So how do we find her?
teacher, Master Ericus, would have been another possibility. Had Xehanort not mercilessly struck him down.
Well, it's really Terra, but anyway.
I'll save her.
Huh?
But Sora, that's gonna be super hard since you don't have the power
He
of
doesn't need
waking.
the power of waking for her, he just needs it for
Huh?
Ventus.
Sorry. I have no idea why that just popped out.
Because Ventus lives in your heart.
It was pretty convincing.
Yeah. Better not let us down.
I feel like Yen Sid should know this.
Sora, you must focus on regaining your lost power of waking.
He never
Mickey and
had
Riku,
it.
I recall that Master Aqua journeyed to many worlds and connected with others who could be the link we need.
Good plan, sir.
So we're going to go to
Riku
no
and I
worlds
will
where she went.
retrace her steps and see if we can find any sort of clues. But first, we got hit pretty hard in the Realm of Darkness. My Keyblade was damaged, and the Heartless broke Riku's clean in half. So we're gonna need to get replacements before we can continue.
In that case, rendezvous with Kairi and Lee. They are continuing their training under the tutelage of the wizard Merlin.
Yes, sir.
Also, I would like you to deliver these for me.
Are they?
Yes, they are the same as the ones I gave you. Special vestments to shield Kairi and Lee from the darkness.
We got him.
What? No fair! What about my outfit, Master?
You got a custom designed outfit.
Settle down. I have new clothes for you too, Sora.
Yeah?
A gift from the good
But not for
fairies.
Donald and Goofy.
I knew you'd come through for me. Thanks.
Those are no ordinary garments, Sora. Like before, they have very special powers, so it took extra time to prepare them. In addition, there is a gift from Chip and Dale inside.
Cool. Okay.
Happy now?
Yep.
Now you are all ready to proceed.
Hey, wait! Don't forget about me!
Jiminy!
Every journey worth going on needs a cricket to keep track of it. And I can't let you
So,
start this one without old Jiminy Cricket by
Mickey
your
and-
side.
and-
The whole team's back!
Yeah.
Good. Now to mark the beginning
Their
of a
journey
new journey.
isn't worthwhile because there's no cricket to follow them.
This, Sora.
Okay.
That is a heart binder. Think of it as a good luck charm made just for you.
It's the summon
You
item.
have a gift, Sora, for connecting with others. And this makes that gift stronger.
It's time to go.
May your heart be your guiding key.
See?
Literally, why does he have to whisper it?
Okay, round two. Oh, come on, will you get serious?
Give me a break, okay?
But Sora
I
could have
told
forgotten lots
you,
of things.
these things take time.
Gorge, is it just me? Or is this turning into a routine?
Huh?
It's coming from you, Sora.
Huh?
It's literally your personal ringtone. It's Sora's theme.
What's this?
Not me, magic stop.
But I don't know how. Maybe
He's been too busy
this?
fighting all the Heartless. He doesn't know what his cell phone is.
Huh? Dale?
Hey, Chipper, I finally got him. Hurry up, Chip. Well, it's about time.
Chip?
You gotta answer the phone, Sora, or we can't give you updates. We got lots and lots of important stuff we want to tell you. That's why we asked Master Yensid to make sure you got this gummy phone we made you, so we'd be able to stay in touch with you at all times. And it takes pictures.
Wow,
Oh,
it's
you
like a cell phone
finally
from
finished it.
2003.
Say, with this gummy phone, we can talk to each other across worlds. In fact, I might even try writing my journal on it.
Wow.
Jiminy, it's 3 times the
Sounds like
size
it's
of you.
pretty
How are you
handy,
going to write in
guys.
it?
So, what's so important?
This, Back when you and Riku quested through the sleeping worlds, Riku recovered some secret research data that Ansem the Wise hid inside you. Ansem's code! Mm-hmm. We've been working our tails off trying to crack it and see what it says.
The data has been encrypted, so we've only deciphered some of it.
Huh? Oh. I guess we haven't spoken since the castle. I'm Ienzo. Alias is here too.
He who does not speak.
Alias. Whatever's between you and Roxas, it's in the past. Sora, the reason we're here is because you and your friends defeated our nobodies, thereby recompleting us.
We cast off our hearts by choice, make no mistake, but we didn't know that Xemnas, or rather, Xehanort, was deceiving us.
Huh?
Who could have seen that coming?
Xemnas?
Oh, he's with them.
Not anymore. Xemnas and Xehanort have no hold over us now. We're just students of
The heart. Exactly the same as we were before all of this began.
Yeah, right.
But you know, now that I think about it, Axel's on our side now.
We have friends we want to bring back to this world just the same as you. To do that, we have to work together.
In that spirit, Sora, we found some intriguing data in the bit of code we deciphered.
Is it about me?
Yes. In order to piece your memories back together, our teacher Ansem the Wise took a close look at your heart.
And he used the
And
witch
what he
nominate to
found
fix it.
Is that your heart doesn't belong just to you.
The hurt.
Doesn't? Gorge, you don't seem surprised.
Yeah. Honestly, I suspected as much. There's another heart inside mine. I think it's Roxas's.
Oh, so yes, but so
Just
close.
like
There's more than one.
Naminé is still inside Kairi's.
Interesting. Well, no one
You actually
knows
have 3
your
hearts
heart
inside you
better
right
than
now, Sora. Plus your own, so 4.
To be honest, we still have a plethora of questions on our side. But the idea has merit. It's incredible enough that you and your nobody are able to coexist. If you share a heart, no wonder someone as remarkable as you caught Ansem the Wise's eye.
We'll keep investigating based on your hypothesis. I'll be in touch.
Okie dokie. We'll give you fellas a ring if there's anything else. Remember, me and Chip, the guys at Radiant Garden, and King Mickey and everybody are never far away.
But you're not allowed to make phone calls. You can only accept them.
Do us a favor. Teach Sora how to use the dummy phone.
Why do you
Leave it
assume that a
to me.
Victorian cricket knows how to use a cell phone?
I have to find Roxas and save him. The others are following Aqua's heart. So I'll follow Roxas's heart.
By going to worlds he never went to.
Trust the guidance that your heart gives you, Sora. That's what Master Yen Sid said.
Well, go.
Oh, that's easy.
Now we're playing Kingdom Hearts 3. It only took 2.5 hours. We did it. Oh, I need to invert these controls. Pew 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 pew. Yeah, I like the Gummy World in this, personally. Why did that not save? Oh, that's why. It was vertical flight, not camera control that I changed. Hello? Okay, you have to press X on that menu. That's shorter than 2.8. Well, yeah, 2.8 actually has a full game. Only one. It has a full game and a tech demo and a movie. Yeah, we got an A. Not bad for the base gummy ship. And people say Treasure Planet's not in Kingdom Hearts. Look at this. This is clearly the map from Treasure Planet. Alright, let's go to the first world. Probably do... You've got to do a gummy fight outside of this world. You don't have to in every world, but this one you do. So probably do that, and then all of its starting cutscenes, and that's probably what we'll call it. That's not the world I thought I was headed to. I forgot this. Oh, yeah, I do remember now. I thought we were headed to a Disney World, not to Twilight Town. Okay, we'll do Twilight Town. That's probably where we'll wrap it up for the day. Look at that clock move for the first time ever.
Gorge, we forgot to fill Master Yen Sid in on what happened. Should we go back?
Why can't you just call him on the cell phone?
You mean about Maleficent and Zigbar? No, the others have already got enough on their plates as it is. Why go stressing them out? The
'Cause it's
three
good
of
to
us know
keep
how
them-
to handle a couple of old adversaries, right?
But doesn't that thing Pete said bother you?
Come on, we're talking about Pete. That means it's probably no big deal.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, cool! The trams are still here!
Yeah, did you think they'd get rid of them in the, like...
Feels like it.
Maybe you're
Too self-aware.
What Roxas feels because he misses home.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I ran into Roxas in the Sleeping Worlds.
I fought him.
It was like seeing into his heart for the first time.
Uh-huh. It was a test to see if your data version was ready to face the hurt that you carry inside.
Was I ready? I do know hurt.
But do you
when
know
I lost
the hurt?
Riku and Kairi, and later when I lost the Keyblade, and you guys had to go on without me like that? Having no one to turn to was the worst kind of hurt, but that just shows how much you mean to me. Carrying around a little hurt can't be all that bad. Hurting is part of caring.
Of course. Any Sora's still Sora.
So wait, if Roxas feels something, then we're in the right place. Roxas, I'm gonna find you.
Do you seek out revenge?
Huh?
What is that?
Nobody's!
What's up, Dusks?
See ya! Try this! Go!
I forgot how good this transformation is. It's like some of the Keyblade transformations in their second forms and third forms even are kind of fine. This one actually has pretty good range and control.
Here we go!
And then it becomes a chariot for some reason. Which you cannot steer.
Thank you.
I got stuck for a moment on the weird null zone on my controller. Thank goodness Donald actually healed me.
Nice. Yeah. What was that voice? I know I heard it.
I didn't hear it.
You sure it wasn't the wind? Or something else?
I'm pretty sure.
Where'd they come from?
Get the ice cream later.
What? Hold up.
Hayner
See?
Pencilette.
Voices. New ones? What? Hayner? Pence? Olette?
Heartless.
that?
Hey, Sora! Hello, goodbye.
Oh.
That's an appropriate reaction.
We got this.
Why does it have so much health? You can't see it because it's behind my head, but it has like 12 health bars. This is a nice battle theme. I really like this one. I don't think I'm supposed to be able to target it when it's underground like that.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm supposed to fail here. Because we've gone through 2.5 of its health bars, and there's no way I have to take it all out. It's like, that's just way too much at this point of the game. I feel like it's going to get to a point where it goes, okay, never mind, bye. Like that. Hey, we learned Cure. That's huge for us.
Nice fighting. Thanks, Sora.
Hayner, Pence, Olette. It's been ages.
What? It hasn't been that long.
Sorry, it's been like 2 weeks.
Donald, Goofy, how are ya?
Howdy there, Olette.
So does this mean that weird stuff's going down again?
You kidding, Pence? When have we ever seen a tornado of shadowy blobs before? It's not
Well,
weird.
there was that one time.
This is unprecedented.
That's not what that word is.
I guess it is. The creatures from the last time were bright white. These things must be new. Man, I can't wait to get to sleuthin'.
We're already done with the school project, silly. Whatever's going on, you wouldn't be here unless you had a good reason.
Which is?
Well, actually, we're looking for Roxas.
Roxas?
That's funny. I don't know any Roxas, but the name sounds familiar.
Maybe we bumped into him somewhere.
Hey, look what's in the background.
Actually, he might have been friends with another version of you.
This photograph.
Yeah, we've got
Look
the
at this
same one.
photograph.
Oh yeah, the other Twilight Town.
It's like one of those spot the differences puzzles, except really easy. I guess in that town, we're friends with this Roxas person.
Sora, let us help you track Roxas down.
Really?
No.
Sure, he seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, he is. Great, then let's all go ask around town. If alternate us knew Roxas, then maybe alternate other folks did too.
Sora, you three should go to the place in the photo. It's the old mansion. The three of us will cover places in town.
Thanks. Oh yeah, I got this phone thingy that takes pictures. Want to snap a photo while we're all here?
Sure.
That's a great idea.
But who's taking the photo, Sora?
Wait, who's taking it? Oh.
There's a huge aperture on the back of that smartphone.
Hey, tough luck. You drew the short straw.
It's okay. I'm sitting out of the photo with you, Donald.
Can you take the photograph?
Everybody smile.
Ask the
Wow.
Moogle,
That
Koopo.
came out great.
Wow, way to ruin a photo, Donald.
A lucky emblem.
Lucky emblem?
Oh yeah, they are huge right now.
Are they?
Supposedly, these things are hidden all over town. And if you get a picture of them, they'll bring you good luck.
Cool. Wait, look guys, is that?
Yeah, you're right. I see it too.
The king is spreading
I knew it.
propaganda.
Good luck, because they're not all this easy to find.
Okay, we better start asking around. You start by checking out the old mansion. We'll catch up.
They did, in
Got
fact, add Hidden Mickeys.
Let's see.
You
Are these
see
new
any
emo kids?
lucky
No,
emblems?
they were in Kingdom Hearts 2. They had different outfits, but it's a different day now, so you know.
Hey, I think that's a lucky emblem.
Yeah, I know. No, Sora. No, Sora.
Let's see. Nice.
I'll help you find the next one. I'd know those ears anywhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Let's see. Yes.
I'll help you find the next one.
The budget for his outfit changes. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
I mean, look
Ready
at
to
the
check
shiny
out
new
the old
outfit on
mansion?
Sora. Now, Donald and Goofy, they don't get one.
I'm seriously great.
I do like that Twilight Town is actually populated now. Rather than just, you know, an empty wasteland.
I'll be with friends. Pizza! I hope Mom takes me to that bistro.
It is sad, however. If you go that way, you just go back to the Gemi ship. The Twilight Town is this at the forest and the mansion. It's really small. Discriminatory budget allocations. Anthropomorphs should unionize. That's why they're not in the spin-offs. What looks just like the king? You can't just be like, that looks like the king.
This is so exciting.
I think this one is on the screen itself, but it only shows up when there's not a movie happening. We're not going to get every lucky emblem. Oh yeah, also, we're going to do some busking.
I could watch this one over and over.
There we go. Yep. Is the King Mickey? Yep.
Aha! There's room for no one else to be the monarch in this world! This is an absolute monarchy! Not a constitutional one!
That would be bizarre, K-Max. All right, I think that's what we'll call it, because, like, if I start to do anything else, it will unleash cutscenes. It's actually a really powerful shield. To be JRPG. Well, this one in particular. Gives Sora the shield belt and probably the power ring. Donald will give you the Warhammer. So you do seem like that kind of nerd. And I'll give you the magic ring for... Well, actually, we'll give you the magic ring and the water cufflink. And then, Goofy, you get an ability ring. Even though I don't think you... Well, we can give you Lucky Strike. That's pretty good. Donald, let's give you MP Haste. Sora... What's MP Safety? Yeah, I like MP Safety. MP Haste is really nice. I do like Unison Fire, but we're... Wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh, we have a bunch of AP boosts. Look, I can re-equip Block. Oh, wait. I want to do one more thing before I forget. Because I might forget next week. Equipping Cure. Yeah, let's struggle to not... We're struggling to not play Struggle because Struggle's not in this game. Because reasons. It would have been a nice minigame. There's already others. But anyway. That is where we'll hear on the Struggle Bus, aren't we all? Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in to Let Us Play. I've been your host, Father Evan. It's been good to be with y'all today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Join us again tomorrow for more Kina, Bridge of Spirits for Spirituality Tuesday. Wednesday, Midweek Minecraft, which might start a little bit late. We've got a birthday, Busted Halo birthday lunch. And those can go a little long, so I might start a few minutes late, but don't worry, it'll still happen. And then Thursday, X-Wing. X-Wing, like the OG. So that'll be fun. And then Friday, I'm on P. Tony's channel. I will be co-hosting Game of Favorites as Dr. Nigel Edward Farias. He'll be making his return. He's looking for a new assistant. So that should be fun. And I think that's everything. And we'll find a time to do the 600 bonus stream. I promise I need to look at my calendar now that the March schedule is out. Because I want to do it before Easter. Because I'm away for 12 days at Easter on a trip. I'm looking forward to that, but, you know. How many years young? I don't know. I forgot. Maybe you'll find that job. Oh, I hope so, Inca. I hope so. Big feels. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's liked, followed, subscribed, given bits, all that good jazz. Thank you for checking out the YouTube and the Discord. And I hope to see you tomorrow, and let's see who's live that we can raid into. Alchemist was hanging out in our chat earlier. Now he's streaming, so we're going to raid on over to Alchemist. He's playing Indiana Jones, A Great Circle. Raid call is Father Raid. Go give him some love. He's a fun guy. And I think that's everything. So hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care, and God bless.